Hey everyone, welcome back to Canon Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing Halloween Ends, directed by David Gordon Green. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that Halloween 2018 is one of the best horror movies in the past decade, and I absolutely love that film. I think it is one of the best direct sequels to an OG horror film, and I absolutely love Jamie Lee Curtis in that. I think that having three generations of Strode women come together and still be affected by the same trauma that affected, Laurie back in the day, I thought that was really effective. I really enjoyed the fact that you had these three generations, especially because it's like women at the forefront. It was also like not forced, and I think that's why I love 2018 so much. And all three of them were affected by Michael Myers to a certain extent. Karen, Judy Greer, was affected growing up because her mother was obsessed with Michael. And she has a different connection to Laurie, her own mother, than Allison, her granddaughter, would have to her as well. So there's something that tied me directly to Allison in Halloween Ends because I'm very protective of my grandparents. I have a very close connection with them. So I kind of, I felt for her. I felt for Allison that she believed her grandmother. She wanted to be there for her. And Allison has been such a great character. There's been such strong development for her, even in Halloween Kills, as much as I disliked Halloween Kills, but I'll get into that after. She had a really good storyline. She is becoming her own woman, and she's making her own decisions. She can adapt to any situation. I thought she was the calmest out of everyone, and she really took on so much in Halloween and in Halloween Kills. So her development has been great. Now, with Halloween Kills, you go from like the generational trauma to a community trauma that they had to deal with. It's more community focused, which is fine. And I get that. So after watching Halloween Ends, it made me appreciate what was done in Halloween Kills, because even though Halloween Kills had a terrible script, they didn't really know the direction they wanted to go in, except they had the theme of it like shoved down everyone's throats. They had kills. It was true to the title. There were brutal, graphic kills in Halloween Kills, and it was so entertaining. Why? Because Michael was front and center. And that's why it was so entertaining. There were jump scares. There were there were moments of him like coming from the shadows, walking, and other people just couldn't get away from him in Halloween Kills. So we had that. We had the scare, the intimidating presence of Michael Myers was felt in Halloween Kills, and I think that that's why it works a bit more. Listen, I had a great time because I was in a theater filled with people, and we were all laughing at certain cheesy moments. Certain kills didn't work, but it was brutal. It was more brutal than Halloween 2018. In Halloween, it was more psychological, especially getting into the psyche of Michael Myers and getting into the psyche of Laurie Strode. And I think that that's why it was such a perfect joint piece for the two of them. And then you see in Halloween Kills that there's both of them are slowly going off their rockers because, Michael was like burnt to a crisp and he came back, and Laurie's like going bonkers because she was attacked. Can't believe her eyes. Obviously, like we all thought that he was dead, and she's just filled with so much hatred, and she just wants to get him. And I think that that's what makes Kills interesting as well, because you have a parallel of those feelings. Now in Halloween Ends, here's the thing. Laurie has no idea that Michael's still alive, Michael's still out there, he's back or whatever. And she has no clue. So she's trying to move forward, which is fine. You're supposed to do that. And this film deals with how the trauma stays with you, how you're supposed to handle it. Everyone kind of handles their own personal trauma and experiences differently. And I think that the way that Laurie did it by writing it in a book was something more concrete and visual that she'd be able to express herself. And I think that was really interesting to show that as well. It's not as strong of a theme as the previous two films for the third installment, but this one also didn't have enough Laurie. And it's Halloween Ends. It's Halloween Ends. That is what it is. It's Halloween Ends. Focus wasn't Laurie Strode. The focus wasn't Michael Myers. The focus wasn't Allison, which is the granddaughter. The focus wasn't the community or the town as they had in the previous two films. Instead, we get a brand new character that we have never seen before, and all of the character development, all of the writing went into this one character, and his name is Corey Cunningham. Now, the opening of Halloween Ends was interesting because they took a different approach. Now, I commend filmmakers for taking these creative leaps of faith with these storylines, and I'm not saying that anything is completely bad. There was the bones of something great here, and it couldn't have been done in one movie. I think that's what I have to say here. What I'm about to tell you, if you've watched it, you understand that there's the bones and the potential for this to actually be a great film if it was split into two parts instead of having it shoved in this one right here. So instead of a child, which was Michael Myers, killing making his first kill, the babysitter, who was Corey Cunningham, accidentally kills the kid that he's watching. And I thought that right from the gate, I'm like, they're changing the cycle. They're changing the cycle. What does this mean? I thought they were going to go a different route entirely. And then they changed the title card from the previous two films because this is supposed to be its own contained trilogy, kind of. They changed it. I'm like, this is weird. And then we don't see Michael until halfway through the movie. And I'm not saying that Jamie Lee Curtis can't handle it. I'm not saying that Allison can handle it, but the focus is on this Corey Cunningham guy. I have nothing against Rowan Campbell, who plays Corey Cunningham. I thought he was fantastic. He was really good. If he had better writing, this would have been a great character. But the focus is on him. He's a 21-year-old kid who gets bullied by high schoolers who really kind of look like they were from the 70s with the way they were acting. I don't know. It felt really out of place. But Corey kind of goes a bit mad. He goes a bit mad because he killed the kid. People see him as an outcast. So it's kind of the reverse of what happens with Laurie. It's the reverse. She's the victim and she's seen as crazy. And then he is a murderer and is seen as a psycho. So you have both. You have both at play there. They say that within the first 20 minutes, oh, are you the psycho or the freak show? I thought that was interesting, I guess. But it doesn't go anywhere. Corey Cunningham's story doesn't go anywhere. Here's the other thing, though. Because what I didn't appreciate was that I'm sitting here waiting for Michael Myers to pop up. He doesn't show up until halfway through the movie, as I said. And Corey finds him in, the sewer. Why is Michael in a sewer? We don't know why Michael is in the sewer. But it's the fact that we made Michael Myers weak. I don't want to see Michael Myers weak. I want to see him going on these killing sprees. I want to see him as strong as he used to be. And I know he's getting older, and I get that, and a lot of things happened to him recently in this specific trilogy. But it's the fact that it's similar to how you have Old Man Logan with Hugh Jackman, and a lot of people didn't like the fact that they killed Old Man Logan, that you saw Logan kind of weaker. They hated the fact that they did that to him because he's Wolverine. You don't want to see Old Man Logan. That's how I felt watching Halloween Ends. And at one point I thought that this Corey Cunningham is going to be the new Michael Myers because it was implied. There was an implication there, especially when Michael grabs him and he flashes through whatever happened to Corey. And I'm like, okay, are we going to stick with the supernatural elements that has been carried with Michael? Because it would make more sense if he transfers his energy and his powers, whatever the hell they may be, to Corey to move the legend forward. But it's called Halloween Ends. So at that point, I'm like, why would he pass the torch to someone else? So instead, Corey kind of he snaps, he takes the mask from Michael, and then that leads into the 20 minutes. But this isn't the worst thing of the movie. And like I said before, I was attached to Allison, and Allison's relationship with Corey was probably the dumbest thing that they could have done to this character, because It's not the same character that we saw in 2018 and Halloween Kills. They dumbed her down entirely. She made really stupid decisions. If you are a Strode woman and the guy that you have a crush on is a murderer and you know that he's a murderer, you are a Strode. There is no way in hell that you wouldn't have a gut feeling to be like, no, I'm okay. Allison would never have done that and be like, oh, he's such like a wounded puppy, I need to fix him. I mean, she would not do that because she's smarter than that. She's smarter than that. It's not about him being helpless. It's not about him not having anyone around. It has nothing to do with that. She's a Strode woman. She's a Strode woman. And the second that Jamie Lee Curtis caught it as Laurie Strode, Allison should have caught it. I think that they dumbed her down. I think it was pure plot convenience that Corey was dating Allison in order to make a connection to the Strode women just for Michael to come back and also attack her. Like, it just had to have been a Strode. So I just think that the whole movie was convenient at the same time because they did not know how to end this. The first two acts were like completely filled. It was filled with things that didn't make sense. They needed to add this stuff in order to make it to a 2-hour runtime. That's literally what this felt like. And then the last 15 minutes, we have the battle royale, which is so sad because it didn't feel warranted for Laurie to even kill Michael. You have 4 decades worth of the storyline with Michael and Laurie, and you dedicate the first 2 acts of Halloween Ends to a completely new character that we've never heard of before. The thing is that those last 20 minutes is like, yay, she's killing him. It's wonderful. It's a great battle. You have the knitting needle. You have the knives. She's on the kitchen. It was like a mixture of everything that has ever happened in the Halloween franchise. And she finally like puts him to rest. And it was a great moment. It was good. But at the same time, if we were just going to get to that, why would you divert the story in that way to not make us care about the battle between them? The only reason why we care about the battle between them is because it's been over 4 decades of going back and forth. The only reason why we care is because of 2018. It has nothing to do with the other 2 films. Like, it's just, that's what I don't understand is like, why would you go to that extent to prolong those last 15-20 minutes? And it sucks because it was underwhelming and didn't feel warranted. It wasn't like, oh my god, yay, finally. I was more happy that she killed Corey Cunningham than she did Michael Myers. Like, that's actually messed up. So I'm just very underwhelmed with Halloween Ends. I wanted so much more from it. I thought that we were going to get like a protege type situation with Corey Cunningham, which can still happen because no one ever stays dead in the Halloween franchise. So if we are going to pass the torch, I kind of said it to my friends last night. We have Michael Myers, which is an MM, and then we have Corey Cunningham, which is a CC. So if anyone's taking up that mantle, it's definitely going to be Corey Cunningham. And I don't know, maybe in like 5 years, 10 years, there'll be like a reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. It's a possibility because no one ever stays dead. And the only body that they actually got rid of was Michael Myers. So yeah, we never know. I'm going to probably give this a 1.5 or 2 out of 5 stars, just because now this is making me really enjoy Halloween Kills a bit more because it's dumb fun. Evil Dies Tonight is just one of the best chants ever created for a Halloween franchise. So that's my score. This movie is going to be hella divisive. If you enjoyed Halloween Ends, please let me know in the comments below. How would you rank Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends? I think for me, it would go in order. It would be Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. I can't believe that out of the 3, like, that's how it's going to go for me. But Halloween 2018 is still God tier. So let me know your rankings below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.